Hello everyone, and welcome to Netmastery Zone channel. In the previous video of site-to-site VPN, you see that we just configure site-to-site VPN between HQ and Site 2, and we use the FMC for this configuration. But in this video I'm going to use the FDM, Firepower Threat Defense Management. And actually in the last video I told you that there is a embedded management system inside the FTD, and we can use that also for managing our FTD. But of course it's a little bit limit, and it doesn't have the all option that is available in the FMC, but we can do most of our job using this FDM. For that, let's start from basic configuration of this FTD. I just want to show you that at the end you need to just select when it's asked you to do you want to manage this FTD locally, then you just select that yes. I'm just start from the scratch. Let me give a password. One 192.168.1.13, 192.168.1.1 as a gateway, and the name is FTD3, and I'm selecting all the default DNS configuration. And here you can see that it's just asking us to manage the device locally. And in the previous configuration we just select no because we wanted to add that to the FMC, but here we are going to configure this locally, then I'm selecting this yes. Okay, in this case now this device is by default is selected to be as a routed mode, and in transparent mode, and better to say the passive mode actually is not available when you try to configure that locally. After this whole configuration, we just need to access the interface using let me fit this to the screen. Exactly like the FMC that we access that, we can access this here also using the IP address that we assigned before, HTTPS 192.168.1.13, and here let's access the FDM. Of course it will take some time to actually deploy this configuration that we provided before, but finally we should be able to access that. Okay, we don't have anything to do with this. Let me take it out of the screen. Now username admin, the password, this is the Firepower Device Manager, and in the first login actually it will ask you to configure the interface 00, the outside interface, gigabit 00, to connect that to the internet. And let's wait for loading. Yes, now the interface is ready, and you can see here in the diagram we show that the interface 0x1 is connected to inside network, and interface 0x0 is connected to the internet, and also the management interface is also green. It means that it is available. But here for the configuration, actually we first need to configure this outside interface gigabit 00, and I'm using the manual IP address, and let's use it 3.3.3.1 with the subnet mask of 24-bit, and gateway 3.3.3.2 will be the gateway. We are not going to configure any IPv6. Then let's click next. You can see here it just gives us an hint here that this changes may take around 2 minutes. Okay, let's wait for this. Okay, in the meantime that this device is loading, let me show you something here in the lab. Actually this loading is finished. Okay, we'll continue this later, but let me show you that I just add some log server here in all these devices to take some logs from this FTD. You know that when we face a problem, for example, if we cannot ping create a VPN and we are not able to ping from one side to other side, the best thing to can help us to troubleshoot this will be the logging, and will be the debug. If we run some debug command, that we will see what is the exact problem that we are not able to establish this VPN, or we are not able to ping from one side to other side. Because of that, I just connect this syslog server, and let me show you something here. In the FTD, sadly, we don't have logging in the CLI, and let me show you. For example, if I want to enable the terminal monitor, you can see that it will give us an error. For that, let's first go to the system support diagnostic CLI, and here let me enable and the FTD. And if I type a command here, terminal monitor, you can see just give me a message that the monitor option not supported for the console, and it means that if even we run any debug here, we'll not be able to see the output of that debug in this interface. Because of that, it's required, it's actually must to have a log server and send all this log information or all this debug information to the syslog, and then from that we can troubleshoot our problem. Okay, let's continue our configuration here. Let's select the time zone that I'm living in -3. Let's select this, and the default NTP server, it's okay. Next. Okay, in the next page you can see information about the licenses, that if you want to register that for the Cisco Smart Licensing, if you have a license, it's a good idea to do that, but we don't have any license, and I just want to select the 90 days evaluation period. And also you can see here, this is the Cisco Firepower Threat Defense for KVM. And when we select the license, we have to define our server, that in which server we actually install this. And the recommended that is this one with 4 core and 8 GB. Let's select this one and finish this configuration. Okay, the configuration is finished, and it gives us this message: the device is up and ready to be configured. Okay, got it. And here in the first interface, that in the device and name of that FTD3, you can see some cards here, and each of these cards doing some configuration for us. For example, for interface, we can continue with this routing, updates, smart licensing, and so on. Okay, first of all, let's go to the smart licensing, and let's enable this licenses that they are available for 90 days evaluation license. And I'm going to enable all three: the thread, URL licensing, and malware. And you can see here the remote access VPN license is not available for the evaluation period, and we need to connect our smart licensing, and also base license is enabled by default. Okay, now let's get back to our device, and for the beginning let's go to the interface and try to configure our interfaces. But before that, because I'm going to configure the interface inside, I have to tell you that this device, when you configure a FTD for the first time, it has some pre-configuration, and sometimes we need to change that configuration because we may not need to use them. For example, one of them is DHCP server. In the system settings side, you can go to the DHCP server, and in the DHCP server you can see that in the inside interface we have a DHCP pool is already configured, and I don't want this because here you can see that my inside interface is connected through 172.16.3 network, and if I try now to configure this IP address to the interface inside, it will give me a message that it's not possible because this range of the DHCP is already configured for interface inside. Let me delete this one, and let's get back to our FTD main page. And here now let's go to the interfaces. In the interfaces you can see that the interface 00 outside interface is configured, that we configured that in the beginning, and now and also interface gigabit 01 is also configured, and it has IP address in that DHCP range. Let's edit this because I'm going to use the IP address 172.16.3.1, and this is the IP address of my inside interface in the lab, and 2 is already configured in the switch 3, and everything is okay. Let's save this. The next interface that I'm going to configure is interface gigabit 0x2, because I'm going to connect that to the syslog. Let's configure this one also. First, let's turn it on and go to the configuration. Let's edit this configuration. I'm going to give a static IP address, but before that let's name it log SRV. We cannot use any uppercase letters for the interfaces, and also the underline or dash or something like that. If select that, it will give me an error message. Let's select that 172.16.3. No, I'm going to use here 192. Actually, I'm going to use the DHCP here because this interface, it's connected to the network, and that network is already have a DHCP server enabled, and I want to just take a IP address from the DHCP server, and then we can check what IP address will be assigned to this. Okay, I'm going to use the DHCP, and for that you can see this message. It says that if the DHCP server provide the IP address that is in the same range of the other interface, then this interface will be disabled. It's okay, doesn't matter. I'm just I'm sure that my DHCP server doesn't provide the IP address that is that will be in the same range. Okay, let's save this. Okay, our interface is actually configured and ready, and let's go back again to our device, and this time let's configure some routing for our FTD. We need of course we need an inside route to send the traffic. When the traffic receive here, we need to send that to the switch. Then I already have a default route that is pointed to interface inside of the FTD. One route is required here, and another route we need to give to the interface log server, because I need to send this log to this log server. Let's go to the route configuration. One static route is already configured here, and that is a default route, and it's to the interface outside. When we assign our interface IP address, by default this route is created here. Okay, let's create another one. I name it inside network, and the interface inside. What network is in the interface inside? Let's create that network. This is inside network. The IP address of that is 10.10.3.0/24. Okay, after creating that, we need to select it here inside network. Okay, and the gateway that we are going to send this, let's create that network also. That is 172.16.3.2, and I'm going to use the same 172.16.3.2. Okay, and that is the IP address that is configured here in switch 3. Let's select that, and okay. Now we have an inside route also, and one more route we need to create for our log server. I'm emphasizing on the log server because I'm going to show you something in the log, and let's name that the log server and interface log SRV, and the network that I'm going to use here is 192.168.0.0/24, and name it 192.168.0.0/24. I think it's not selecting this slash as a name. Let's name it like this. And okay, it's need a gateway. The gateway will be the 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.1. This is our gateway. Okay, now our routing is also configured. Let's get back to our device. Here, before starting any configuration on the VPN, I want to show you something here. And as I said before, the FTD has some pre-configuration, and one of them is the policy. This policy, you can see here by default there is a policy is configured here, and it's allowing the inside network to the outside and any. And also there is another configuration available, and that is the NAT. The NAT is actually inside to outside. It's going to NAT from inside interface to the outside interface. This is very important to know that, because all IP address is going to be NATed from inside to the outside interface. In this case, if we create our VPN, we will face problem if we don't exempt the NATing from to this interface. Exempt the VPN IP from the NAT. And also one thing more, we need to configure our log server setting. Let's go to the log setting, and here the logging setting, we are going to send our log to the remote server. Okay, let's enable that. And what kind of log we are going to send? We are going to send debug, and also we need to assign our log server IP address. my log server here is I'm going to use port UDP. It's 192.168.110.1, and UDP, and the default port for UDP is 514. And let's accept this one. Okay, the interface that we are going to send the log is the log server interface. Okay. Okay, let's select this as a log server, and anything else, any configuration. If we want to have any filtering for our log, we can actually create here some filter, but I'm going to send all debug to this log server. Let's save this. Now our FTD is ready, and it's ready to configure for the site-to-site VPN. For that, let's first deploy this configuration that we created here. It's exactly like FMC. We need, after the making configuration, we need to deploy this configuration on the FTD. For that, let me click on this deploy, and here in the summary you can see that the old configuration that we made here will be appear, and you can see what configuration actually we applied. We applied some object network, create some object network for inside. This is the name object network. This is for our gateway, and inside network the objects that is created, and also in the red you can see the DHCP server that we deleted before. It will show in the red, and the configuration that we are it's new and we just did will be shown in green. And here the configuration of our log server, and also some other information about the log server and also the interfaces. Okay, let's deploy this. After deployment, okay, now the deployment job is added to the task, and we can close this. And if you want to see this task, we can click on the deploy again and see the progress to finish. I believe if I continue configuring the site-to-site VPN in this video, the video will become too long, and I prefer to do the configuration, the site-to-site VPN configuration, in the next video. For now, thank you for your watching, and please follow us and check for the next video that will be provided for the site-to-site VPN using FMC and FDM. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.